let us see the next lesson, lesson number 5 under syllogism. Syllogism, I would like to tell you, is both an important and a difficult topic under test of reasoning. Now I told you there are two aspects for syllogism. One is it is difficult and the other is it is important. Difficult because many of the questions people don't even understand, because the question states all tables are monkeys, some donkeys are elephants, and no elephant is a mammal, something like that. Now if you try to use common sense and try to interpret, now table has got 4 legs, all tables are monkeys, it is stated as a logical statement. They say it is a logical statement. All tables are monkeys. Table has got 4 legs and table has no tail. Monkey is an animal. Table is an object. Table does not move. Monkey moves. If you try to interpret the literal meaning of table and monkey and try to find out the conclusion, you will go mad sooner than later. Then it requires a grounding, a basic grounding on logic. Unfortunately, nowadays college is not being taught in any college or university. Most of the students are engineering students and they have not seen logic anywhere in their college education. Therefore, without the basics and grounding of logic, they find it difficult. Then I said it is an important topic. Important because some exams straight away 10 questions to 15 questions come from syllogism. State Bank of India PO 2012, 10 questions, first 10 questions is from logic, from this syllogism, and most of the people who hail from the IT background, they found they were not able to crack it. One student came and told me, sir, normally in all the competitive examination I will find it difficult, but this is one examination in which I could not even understand many of the questions. Therefore, it is important because 10 questions definitely will come, and 10 mark in reasoning out of 50 is a big chunk and you must master, then only you will be able to get high marks. At the same time, it is difficult because you don't have a grounding. Now all we have tried today is to give you a basic conceptual understanding of logic and then solve the problems through a very easy method. That is our purpose today. What is syllogism? Syllogism means drawing valid inferences from logical statements. For example, all MBA students are graduates. We can see the working. All MBA students are graduates. Mohan is an MBA student. Therefore, Mohan is a graduate. This conclusion, valid conclusion, we have drawn from these two statements, and this is called a syllogism. Syllogism is based on logic. Questions on syllogism will come from two types. Type 1 is from 2 statements and type 2 is from 3 statements. Before we go deep into the subject, I want to tell you by which method we are going to solve problems of syllogism. Normally, for solving syllogism, There are three methods. One method is pure logic. The second method is called Venn diagram. The third method is called table method. Now we can use any of these three methods to solve problems of syllogism. Now let us understand the merits, the advantages and demerits of each method. Pure logic is based on a full understanding of logic as a subject. You know, logic is being taught for 3 years BA logic and then another 2 years MA logic. It was a subject which was studied for 5 years in older terms. Nowadays I don't find any logic graduates anywhere. Any colleges are teaching logic. No college is teaching logic nowadays. Especially engineering college students have not even heard of logic as a subject. Therefore, it requires a grounding on logic, which is very difficult. And for you to understand, you have to read nearly minimum 6 months to have a basic understanding of pure logic. Then only you will be able to apply the methods. Therefore, it is time consuming. And therefore, in these days of fast food and fast life, nobody has the time to spend. It's a time consuming. Therefore, this method is not practical for us. Then the second method is Venn diagram. Under Venn diagram, what we do is we draw small circles, yes, and then we draw the conclusions. It is fairly easy. The method is fairly easy. It is simple to learn. But the problem is when we go to logical statements 3 and more, we have to draw more and more diagrams. And the method becomes very complex. And then some of the conclusions cannot be arrived using Venn diagram. Therefore, this method, even though fairly easy, is not 100%, is not giving 100% accurate results, and this becomes very complex when more than 3 statements are, 2 or more than 2 statements, namely 3 or 4 statements are involved. This becomes very complex, and people don't have the time to do all the complexities in the examination. Therefore, this is also not a very practical method. Then the third method is a table method. What is table method? Table method is nothing but the essence of pure logic. The essence of pure logic is crystallized into 2 tables, which will give you the right conclusions. In the exam, what they ask, they will give you 2 statements and then 2 conclusions. They will ask you which of the 2 conclusions is correct. While thousands of conclusions can be drawn, in the entire gamut of syllogism, there are only 11 conclusions which are valid. 5 under one method and 6 under another method, immediate and mediate inference. Totally only 11 conclusions are valid. While thousands of conclusions can be drawn, by applying this table, you know which are the 11 correct conclusions. You will simply be able to arrive at the 11 correct conclusions. And based on that knowledge, you can say which are the other conclusions. 9 out of 1000, 11 if you deduct, 9 remaining 900 and odd conclusions are wrong. So you will be able to find out and differentiate the right and wrong conclusions very quickly by table method. And since it is the essence of the pure logic, it can never be wrong. It will give you 100% correct conclusions. So what we have done is, we have brought the essence of pure logic into a table, and using that table, which is a kind of a tool for us, with that tool we are arriving at conclusions. We know which are the 11 valid conclusions, and very easily we can differentiate invalid conclusions because we know which are the 11 conclusions. Therefore, table method is more practical because we can learn it fast and it gives you 100% accuracy, and this is the essence of the pure logic method. So we will be using table method to solve problems of syllogism. presentation objective is, at the end of this session, you will be able to solve problems of syllogism type 1. Syllogism type 1 means drawing inferences from two logical statements. And in the next session, we will be able to learn syllogism type 2, that is drawing inferences from more than two logical statements. So for the time being, in this lesson, we will learn how to draw inferences based on two statements, that is called syllogism type 1. Now let us plunge into the subject proper. What is syllogism? As I told you, syllogism is drawing inference from logical statements. We have seen the earlier example, and here another one more example is given. All students of a particular class 10, they have passed. Mohan is a student of class 10. Therefore, we can come to the conclusion Mohan has also passed the exam. So this is called syllogism. Syllogism means, I repeat, drawing inference from given logical statements. Then this takes us to the next question. What is a logical statement? A logical statement is also called a proposition. Let us see. A logical statement is also called a proposition. It is P-R-O-P-O-S-I-T-A. It is not P-R-E. P-R-E means it is proposition. This book is on the table. On is the proposition. Here it is P-R-O. P-R-O means it is a logical statement. It is also called a premise. A logical statement has got three parts. Little bit of grounding and elementary understanding of logic we will give you, which is essential for solving the problems at a later stage. So please be with me for understanding basics of logic, which is very important. A logical proposition has got three parts. For example, elephants are mammals. What are mammals? Mammals are those that give birth to young ones and then suckle them. So here elephant is the subject, because we are talking about the elephant. Second, mammal is the predicate. We are predicting something about the elephant. Elephants are what? Elephants are mammals. Now this word elephant and mammals, they are connected by a copula. A copula is nothing but a connector. You must have seen some pipe fitters and electricians talking about joining two pipes using a coupling. So copula means you connect something. Now what the copula does? It connects the subject and predicate. All the three must be present in a logical proposition. Otherwise it will not be a logical statement. Suppose I say elephants are. Then you will ask me what are elephants? Then suppose otherwise I will say are mammals. Who are mammals? So therefore all these three parts, namely subject, copula and predicate, are essential for anybody to make a valid logical statement. Now, the logical statements are otherwise called propositions. They are classified into four basic types. It is very important we should understand what are the four types of logical statements. The logical statements are classified based on quantity and quality. Quantity means universal or particular. Quality means affirmative or negative. I am 100% sure some of you would not have understood this. it may become little theoretical and complex. Let us see the example, then we will know clarity. We will have clarity in this concept. Now, what are the 4 types of proposition? We shall see the working. They are A, E, I, O. You must have heard of this A, E, I, O somewhere. What are they? They are the vowels. A, E, I, O. U is not there, fortunately. There are only 4 types of logical statements. We don't have a 5th type. Even with this we have enough confusion. So suppose we had 7 types or 20 types of logical propositions, we would have gone mad. So please remember, there are only 4 types of logical propositions. All elephants are mammals. That is the first type of logical statement. When I say all elephants, I mean the entire class of elephants, the entire universe of elephants. I am not making any exception. I don't say all elephants except the elephant Kesavan in Guruvayur, or I don't say except the elephants that are there in the Indian jungles. All elephants are mammals. So it is universal, and I don't use any negative words. Therefore, affirmative. Affirmative means positive. A universal affirmative logical statement is called A-type logical statement. Then the second type is called no snake is a mammal. The second type of statement, it starts with a negative connotation, but it is also universal. I am not making any exception. When I say no snake, I mean the entire class called snakes, the entire universe of snakes. They are not mammals. Therefore, this is also universal, but it starts with a negative connotation, and therefore it is universal negative, and therefore this type of statement is called E-type of statement. Then there is the third type of statement called I-type of statement. What is the I-type of statements? Some roses are red. There is a very beautiful rose garden near Chandigarh. I recommend all of you visit it. If you go there, 30-40 acres of land, a lot of roses are there in all colors, in all hues. Red, blue, green, black, you name the color, they have a rose there. Therefore, when I say some roses are red, I don't mean the entire universe of roses. I don't say all roses. I don't say the entire class of roses, but a portion of that universe. Out of the entire universe of roses, some roses are red. Therefore, I am talking about a particular portion, and I am not using any negative, therefore it is affirmative. And this is called I-type of statement. Then, the next type of statement is called O-type of statement. Now, by now, you must have come to the conclusion, what should be the O? O is some roses are not read. Some books are not studied. Some books are not studied. Whenever I say some books, again, I am not referring to the entire universe of books. I am only referring to a particular portion of the books. some books are not studied. So it is particular, and since I am using a negative word here, it is particular negative, and a particular negative word logical statement is called a O-type statement. Therefore, to conclude, we have seen a proposition or a logical statement should have three parts. I am just recalling what we have seen in the last 5 to 8 minutes. A logical statement or proposition should have three parts. What are the three parts? Subject, copula, and predicate. And logical statements can be classified into 4 types. What are the 4 types? A, E, I, O. A means it is universal and affirmative. All elephants are mammals. E is universal and negative. No reptile is a mammal, or no snake is a mammal. I type, we are not referring to the entire universe or entire class. We only refer to a particular portion of the universe or class. Some roses are red. That is I type statement. Then what is O type? Some roses are not red. Some books are not studied. So we can think of all these 4. There are only 4 logical statements, and all these 4 you must have a good grounding, based on which we will build the superstructure of drawing conclusions.